Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to come on today and just share a little bit with you guys that I just kind of felt like I needed to talk about this. So, sorry, I'm taking my medicine. Hope it doesn't trigger anybody. We all know that I'm on Suboxone. I've been on it for 3 years and it totally changed my life. Like, I don't know, I had tried to get sober for so many years through AA and NA and different programs, and I just struggled so long, you guys. Like, I just couldn't do it. So I finally broke down after being in rehab for 30 days, came out and was sober, and I wanted to use, so I got put on Suboxone. Sorry, I know it's disgusting. I won't do it again. So I got put on Suboxone. And it has helped me so much. And I built my channel here on YouTube to share my experience being on Suboxone and working a 12-step program. And for the longest time, I compared myself to other people. I compared myself to my friends who had already tapered off. I would compare myself to other people that did never have to use it, that were abstinent. And it took me a long time to get to a point where I felt confident in the decision that I was making to stay on Suboxone. So it's been a long, hard road. But the one thing that I try to do on my channel is be 100% transparent and honest with you guys. Hold on.
You like your toothpaste now, huh?
No. Okay. Is be 100% transparent and honest with you guys about what I'm going through, about, you know, life, about how life is hard still, about how, you know, I was a polysubstance abuser, and so opiates weren't my only drug of choice, and I would abuse methamphetamine, cocaine, Xanax, anything. And as y'all know, methamphetamine was my main drug of choice, then opiates. So getting off opiates wasn't like my only hurdle that I had to jump over, you know? And I hear a lot of people feel like that, you know, I think that because I went down farther than they did, that my addiction is worse than theirs somehow. And what I mean by that is that it clearly states in the big book that there are levels to alcoholism, okay? And I contribute that to addiction also. It talks about there being the real alcoholic who will basically drink themselves into insanity or even death. They can't take it or leave it. They can't just have one. They can't go out and relapse on the weekend and come back from it. Like, they will drink themselves to death. And that's what I am. I'm a real alcoholic addict. I can't go out and relapse on any substance on the weekend and then come back from it. Like, the chemicals in my brain and the way that my addiction is in my body and in my mind, it's like I take one and that's never enough. And so I go on a spree. And nowadays, with how long I've been in recovery and the fact that I'm older and I have a son, like, if I went out today and shot heroin, you guys, I would die. You know, I would die. And that really, really scares me. Like, that scares the shit out of me. I don't want to die. So, like, I don't think, when I'm saying things like that, it's like people don't understand. Like, for me, I don't have the luxury to go out and use on the weekend. Like, that's not an option for me today. I've come to terms with my addiction. I've come to accept that I will never be able to drink or use drugs the way other people do. I know that I'll have to do this program for the rest of my life. I will be in some kind of recovery program for the rest of my life. Like, I've come to terms with that. Like, I'm not going to just wake up one day and not be a drug addict. And so I pride myself on showing you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. On being honest with my experiences. Not telling you, oh, my life is great since I've been on Suboxone and everything is so easy to stay sober. Because that would be a lie. Like, I still think about shooting dope. I still think about taking Xanax bars. Like, but I don't act on those thoughts, and I share it with other people. So honesty and integrity are two things that I really, really hold important to me. And so when I watch other people and they're leading people to believe that things are so great since they've tapered off Suboxone, you know, they've been off of it for this long, but then they're not telling the other side to it, that they're struggling to stay sober, that they haven't been able to maintain 6 months of clean time together, you know? And that's why I get agitated with people when they're sharing their experience with Suboxone, because a lot of people don't share the whole truth. It's like, if you're going to share that you're tapered off Suboxone, share with us how you're struggling to stay sober. Because 90% of people I've met that have tapered off of it struggle to stay sober. Like, I know so many people who have jumped and then relapsed and then came back and got back on. And I talk to hundreds of people a day that are on medically assisted treatment. I have a group specifically just for people that are on medically assisted treatment. I have a group of people that are on Sublocade, which is an injection once a month, and it lasts for 30 days. I have people that are on Suboxone. I have people that are on methadone. I have people that are on Vivitrol. And so I even know people that are on naltrexone for alcoholism. So I talk to these people daily, and what I see is that if they taper off of their medication and they have absolutely no program in place, then they struggle to stay sober. But especially if they don't have a program in place, and especially if they haven't come to the terms with the fact that they're going to be a drug addict for the rest of their life. This is the rest of your life program. You cannot stop doing this program and expect to stay sober. It never works. And I've experienced that. And the reason why I think it bothers me is because for 10 years, I thought that I could shut my addiction off. I thought that I could work a couple steps, have a sponsor for a year, and stay sober. And each time that I lost and dropped my sponsor, or stopped doing my meetings, or stopped telling the truth and being honest about my recovery, was the minute I started getting back high, was the minute my addiction came into my mind. It was like, nobody will ever know. Nobody will know that you got off Suboxone and are taking Kratom now. Nobody will know that you are taking your Suboxone only once a week and then eating Roxy's on the weekend. Like, that's what my addiction tells me, you guys. And that's why it makes me upset, because I'm honest about every struggle I have, about being overweight and eating myself into comas, I even was honest with you guys when I was overtaking my medication in the beginning, you know, because I thought, oh, if I take more, it might make me feel better. And it doesn't do anything. So I pride myself on being open and honest and real and telling you the whole truth, even if it doesn't make me look good. And so when I hear somebody painting a medication or making me feel like the medication that I'm on is so bad for me, when they are struggling to stay clean, that bothers me. Because if I relapse, I will lose my son. If I relapse, I will lose my house. It's not about letting yourself get there either. The disease of addiction will take you there. If you stay in it long enough, every yet that you ever said you wouldn't do, you will do. I didn't just stop paying my bills, you guys. Like, I didn't have any bills because I wasn't paying them a long time ago. That was 12 years ago. I had credit card debt at the wazoo. I had no place to live. I was couch hopping. I lost my son to DHS. If you had hydrocodone and I didn't have money, I'd do you a favor. Like, it was that bad. And so when I also hear people say, well, oh, you know, I didn't let myself get that bad. No, it has nothing to do with you letting yourself. By the grace of God, you had a moment of clarity. And that brought you to, and you grabbed onto something. And when we think that we have control and that we are somehow in control of this, it's nothing about us. It's literally the grace. the grace that gives us another day. Because I could wake up tomorrow, you guys, and go out and shoot heroin and die.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when we paint this picture that we're just so in control of our addictions, it's a false sense of pride. And when we have that false sense of pride, that's when we're going to start slipping. That's when we start manipulating. That's when we start lying to people, telling them how great life is when we're struggling. I struggled every day with my mind, with myself telling me I'm not good enough, with me telling myself that I'm never going to be able to get off MAT. And so when I see people making this story up about how awesome it is to be off of it, and then they're not staying sober, it's like, no, tell the whole story. Don't leave that part out, because that's the important part, that you got off and now you can't stay clean, and that you're struggling, and that you want to use. Tell me that part, because that's what I need to hear. I need to hear what's happening for you and how you're struggling, so maybe that can help me not to struggle when I decide to get off. I want to hear the real tea. I don't want to hear the painted version that you want to show on social media, because that's not what these channels are for. Our channels are for helping people, helping them change their lives. And if I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, I'm going to tell y'all, like, yeah, I haven't jumped off Suboxone. You know why? Because if I'm afraid that I'll relapse, and I'm not ready. And I've been doing the AA program for 3 years straight, hard, okay, hard, heavy, doing it with my sponsor, doing it with other girls. I mean, staying connected, and I still struggle every single day. And one of my friends, he's got 13 years sober. He's about 45. His name is Saul Kane. Y'all should check him out on Facebook. He's awesome. He has 13 years sober, and he always tells me, there's no destination. There's no destination, so why are you rushing? Why are you rushing to get off? There's no destination. So you're going to get off Suboxone, and then what's going to happen? What if you don't stay sober? Just chill out. Take your time. You will know when you are ready. Okay? You will know when you are ready. And for me, when I'm ready, I'm going to feel an ease. I'm going to feel I don't want to use drugs. The thoughts are going to stop coming into my mind. I truly believe that I will have a moment where it's like God lifts those things from me. You know, I don't obsessively think about using, but those thoughts still come in from time to time, especially when I'm struggling with depression, you know. And so I just think it's really important for us to keep to remember that people are watching us that are all in different stages of their recovery. Some people are just getting on MAT and it's saving their life. Some people are 10 years sober and never even been on it. But there's one thing that we can all relate on, and that is that we don't have, like, addiction took over my life. I didn't choose anything. I had lost the power of choice in my addiction. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'll pay that bill today and then tomorrow I'll just use that bill money for, no, I didn't have a choice. I lost all choice. And for me, that's how it was. So that's why I think it's really important for us to educate ourselves on the disease of addiction, read the AA Big Book, and learn about the disease concept. Because in a person who is addicted, they lost their power of choice. So we really never had control while we were in our active addiction. Now today, while I'm in recovery and I don't have those drugs in my system, I can make good choices today. You know what I'm saying? But it's when we get in that mindset, that obsessive mindset, thinking, mulling it over, talking about the drug, wanting to take it, and then we pick up the first one, we lose that power of choice. And that's when the spree takes place. That's when the vicious cycle starts over. So I never want anybody to think like I am angry at them, but I want to encourage you, if you have a channel or if you're sharing your experience with other people, don't just share the good, share all of it. Share how you're struggling, because that's going to set you free. Every time I get on here and I cry and I look stupid, and I might look retarded to y'all, but I'm telling y'all about how I'm struggling. After I get off and I hang up the phone, hang up the computer, hang up whatever this thing is, I feel free again. It takes away the pressure, and I can actually have a good day. So just be careful, be mindful how you're presenting yourself to other people, because a lot of people look up to others, you know, a lot of people follow you because they're trying to find a way to get to where you're at. So if you're struggling where you're at, since you have cut off your MAT, let us know that and really spend time on it, because that's what we need to know. We need to know so we can get ready for that. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at anybody, but honesty is hella important when you're telling these stories about your life off Suboxone. You know, I want to know how it's really happening. So, or off any medically assisted treatment, or if you're not even on one and you're abstinent and you're struggling, like, don't leave out that part. You guys, then it paints a picture that getting sober is so easy and it's just awesome, but it's not. It's hard effing work. It's like when you get sober, all these thoughts in your mind start going around. It's like you got clear fucking thoughts again, and they're telling you what to do. It's so crazy. I'm just telling y'all. And Leonard says it best about his verification of different levels of addiction. He talks about junkies who were nickel and dime junkies. That means they would literally do a nickel or a dime of dope a day. And they didn't have a problem. They were still functioning. I wouldn't like that, okay? And so that's why I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like, I was the farthest gone you can be, you know? And a lot of y'all have been there, and y'all can relate, and y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not that I think I'm better than anybody, because who would... That's not something to brag about. I'm not proud of it. But what I want you to understand is, like, the journey that I'm traveling is a loopier, longer road than yours probably. And it's got a lot of trauma, a lot of harm, and a lot of crazy-ass shit that happened in my addiction. And that shit's hard to get over. It's hard to get over. It really sucks that you have to look back in your past and realize that you would fucking suck a dick for a hydrocodone. That ain't cool. That don't make me feel good. Okay? Do you think I like that? It was embarrassing. They talk about incomprehensible demoralization in the big book. And they talk about how when you get to that point, you will reach incomprehensible demoralization. You will lose every moral you ever had, every value, and you won't give a damn. You'll do whatever you can to get to your next one. So that's where I've been. And so that's why I'd like to share with you guys about being there. Because I know so many people who are there too. And I'm just trying to help you understand that if you put in the work and you try, that you can get to a point where you're not doing that anymore. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later.